If you thought that social media knows everything about you, you were right. However, today I will tell you that there are apps that know even more. Would you like to know more? Have you ever been feeling like spied upon? Have you ever encountered strange behavior of your smartphone? Have you ever had a feeling that you know that somebody knows, but you don't know how they know? They might know because they installed stalkerware software in your smartphone. So, what is stalkerware? Simply put, it's a spying app. It is installed into smartphone with physical access of a stalker, so you need to know your PIN, unlock a smartphone, and sideload the application. Then allow all the necessary permissions, and based on these permissions, we can tell what are the capabilities of the software. Afterwards, stalkerware is hidden from the victim's view, and it can impersonate legitimately looking applications such as settings. Where these apps could be downloaded from, besides shady websites, apparently they were available even on Google Play Store, imposing as kid or employee spies, resulting in fact that it wasn't that difficult to install them whatsoever. Precisely, they were installed over 140,000 times from Google Play Store alone. So the number speaks for itself. Based on our data from our Android client devices, as you can see in the slides now, these apps have become more and more popular in the last couple of years. In 2019, we detected 5 times more installs as in the previous year. Last year, detection increased up to 48%. We see that popularity is still on the rise. So, how can we make sure no one is looking over our shoulder? This problem has been discussed, and luckily for us, it has been solved. How? Either by manually or dynamically using trustworthy security software that detects, informs, and removes our uninvited guest. However, its enormous popularity made us wonder and worry about one more problem. Who else might be watching? Since stalkerware gathers more private data about their victims than any other app you have installed in your smartphone right now. And I'm talking about the privacy and security of victims' information that might be at risk, since such software can access almost all the sensitive user data. When we picked one of the most popular social media applications and compare its permission to stalkerware, it is important that social media app requests these permissions only when necessary. So when a user wants to take a picture, there is a request, give us a permission one time during using the application or forever. Contrary, stalkerware, in order to work properly, all the permissions needs to be checked. As a result, stalker has full access all the time. Let's take a look. The phone on the right belongs to the attacker. The attacker is not a stalker. It's a person that misuses security problems found in stalkerware. The victim and the stalker are not aware of the attacker or his actions. The phone on the left belongs to the victim. The attacker sends text message to the victim. The victim receives text message. Stalkerware would process it and it would trigger a phone call back to the attacker, instantly opening microphone spying opportunities without victim's knowledge or any authentication. Please pay attention to upcoming slides where we will deep dive and share with you our research, where we'll focus on stalkerware security and we'll close all that with responsible disclosure to affected vendors. Now the question is where from we gather stalkerware apps. Well, from various sources, starting with the stalkerware indicators of compromise, which is available on GitHub. Then from our malware database, where we picked the most popular being used in the wild last year, Google advertisement, paid PR articles, top Google search. Because of that, we gathered information about 86 stalkerware vendors that are represented by 86 different stalkerware apps. Mobile stalkerware covers two main platforms. We focused only on Android. Well, the reason is simple: the market share and the easiness of site loading the apps in Android. Comparing to iOS, device needs to be jailbroken or stalker needs to have iCloud credentials. And there's one more reason. From all analyzed vendors, or all analyzed vendors provide Android solution, but only 37 of them provides Android and iOS as well. We end up again with analyzing 86 different apps provided by 86 different vendors. What we did, we went through manual, static, and dynamic analysis to observe its behavior and capabilities. We would like to state a fact that this was not a full penetration test. We focused on privacy, security issues, but actual impact on their clients, victims, company. However, the matter is really serious. There were some limitations. I would like to go through them first because we haven't paid for any of these software. We didn't want to support them. We were limited by the provided functionality of the application and the full accessibility of the admin panel, which is responsible for sending commands to the app, receiving data, storing them, etc. Still, we were able to fully test dynamically and statically 72 apps out of 86, and 14 were limited to static analysis only. What were our findings? Again, for these 86 apps, we found security issues with serious impact in 67% of them. 33% were without serious security or privacy issue discovered by us. Altogether, we identified 158 security exploitable problems in 58 apps, represented by 67%. Now let's jump into particular problems. Still, even because of the limitations, we discovered 158 security problems, such as a data leak on the network, on the device, on the server, possibility to frame data, tamper with data being uploaded to server, remotely control device by text message, possibility to take over account, remote code executions, possibility to live stream from smartphone. I prepared two more video demonstrations where I will explain some of the vulnerabilities. Now I will go through some of the most serious ones. Starting with HTTP leak, where many stalkerwares, 22 of them, use not encrypted protocol HTTP to transfer sensitive information, including credentials, during either registration by a stalker or logging into the panel. As a result, the attacker on the same network could steal these credentials and access stalker's admin panel to control a victim's smartphone without knowledge of the victim and stalker mainly. Besides credentials, some of the stalkerware apps could also download additional modules, binary modules, or updates of themselves, again over HTTP, and there was no integrity check. Again, attacker on the same network using man in the middle could replace the binaries and trigger remote code execution on the smartphone. The most common issue was a leak of gathered information from smartphone of the victim, such as contacts, text messages, photos, videos, audio recordings, etc. From the leak on the network, let's move to the leak on the smartphone of personally identifiable information. What does it mean? All the gathered information were stored on external media by stalkerware, and third-party apps installed on the device could, with a proper permission, read-write external storage, access these files. And because of that they could access files that otherwise would not be accessible with a proper permission, such as video recordings and screenshots, etc. In one case, stalkerware stored admin token in a text file on external media, and if any other application would store that, it could access the stalker account to control a victim's smartphone. Some of them provided key logger functionality, meaning they could log all user input in a text file that was stored on external media. These key logs were not anyhow protected and accessible to apps installed on a smartphone. Because of that, other apps could actually take over not just account of the stalker, but also other apps since there was stored password, emails, login credentials. The most frequently seen device leak was unprotected storing of extracted data, such as recorded phone calls, taken photos, screenshots, in some cases even calendar events, browsing history, contact list, phone number, received text messages. So from a leak on the network, leak on a smartphone on a device, let's move to the leak on the server. User data leaks through open directories. There were available data such as victims' photos, recorded phone calls, details about them such as names, physical addresses, text messages, social media messages, email addresses. These data were accessible without any authentication for anyone. During analysis, we discovered and tested that manipulating with victims' data wasn't a problem at all. Many apps use for pairing device and the server account unique device ID, such as either email number or Android ID, instead of using server-generated token. However, these device IDs are easily obtainable by other apps on the smartphone. There are two case scenarios how this could be misused. The first one, if data are uploaded over HTTP, again, attacker using man in the middle could replace the data to frame a person, forge the data, and makes the life of the victim a little bit more difficult. Second one, third-party apps could easily obtain email number, Android ID, which are the unique IDs that are paired with a smartphone. Because of that, these apps could upload custom data, temporary data to server to frame the person. Custom text messages, phone calls, video recordings, pictures, etc. In the case of no internet connection, some of the stalkerware provided ability to receive SMS commands. However, not all of them verify if the commands are received from a stalker, and because of that, anyone could remotely control victim's device by text message. There are two things necessary. The first one is a phone number of the victim. This could be either extracted by third-party apps or is already known to the attacker. The second are SMS commands, and these SMS commands are available on the vendor's websites already. I prepared one quick demonstration. Again, the phone on the right belongs to the attacker. The attacker is not a stalker. The phone on the left belongs to a victim. The attacker sent text message to a victim. The victim receives text message. The text message would trigger a sharing exact GPS location back to the attacker, back to anyone who sent the text message. Of course, GPS needs to be enabled on the victim's smartphone. Ability to start arbitrary components of a stalkerware. Because of unprotected exported components in Android manifest, it is possible to trigger restricted only stalkerware functionality. As a result, any application installed on the smartphone could, through stalkerware, without proper permission, take photos, pictures, record calls, record surrounding audio, take screenshots, wipe data, enable, disable GPS, reboot smartphone, etc. And afterwards, these data are accessible since they are stored on external media. What happens when spying ends? This. This is a photo taken by a stalkerware of my ceiling, while it was lying next to me. Unfortunately, it is still stored and accessible on their server, even though the stalker, in this case me, removes data logs on the link's smartphone and removes full account. Besides photos taken by the stalker, on the server are still accessible my text messages and my full contact list. In other cases of stalkerware, data are not removed immediately when requested, but rather it takes 90 extra days to be deleted for some reason. Hard-coded secrets in actual apps. This is not about a token or a password as you might expect, rather just server links that are responsible for triggering a live stream from a smartphone. What is it all about? In-app are hard-coded links that could through server trigger live stream for a particular device with a provided ID. The only things that is necessary is this ID. However, this ID is stored on external shared media, which is accessible to other apps with a proper permission and read-write storage. Let me show you a quick video demonstration how this could be misused. So we have victim smartphone on the left side where stalkerware is already installed, and then we have three windows. The first one is our notepad that contains three links that were hard-coded. The second one is our browser, and the third one is VLC, where from we will watch the live stream. We copy the first link, we see that stream is not available, then we make two requests to server, and if it returns true, server will enable live stream from the particular device the ID was provided and allows to anyone to watch the stream and listen the audio from the device. These were the serious issues discovered by us in the stalkerware apps. Now I would like to continue with actual report of these issues. We follow 90-day disclosure practice by up to 3 vendor contacts. We contacted them through email or through support ticket. If we haven't heard back, we went through the same scenario, making the email and contact ticket one more time. In 2 cases, we were not successful contacting the vendor. The reason was the email address was full, and the ticket, creating a support ticket through their website, always returned some error. So what are the results? Of reporting the issues? So from 58 apps that have the problems, 10% of the vendors fix the issue within 90 days. 12% promised the issues will be fixed, but they are not. And 78% of the apps with the problems did not respond to us nor fix the issues. Because of that, we decided not to publish the full list where we connect security problems with actual apps or vendors. We are heading to conclusion, but before that, let's quickly go through a compromise scenario and a couple of prevention tips. So how stalker can install stalkerware in a victim's smartphone? He needs to have physical access. This cannot be done remotely since stalker first needs to set up account. It means either create account or log in. For doing that, he needs to unlock a smartphone, so he needs to have a PIN and side load the application and then clean all the traces. That's it. It takes up to 2 minutes. Couple quick prevention tips. Make sure to have enabled lock screen protection, either use PIN or password. In the case you believe someone already knows your PIN code and might access your device, change the lock screen protection and possibly use security solution that will detect the stalker in your device and inform you about that. Some compromise signs, if you don't have any solution and you don't want to install that, the battery drains much faster. There's higher internet consumption since it's communicating non-stop with the admin panel. Suddenly GPS, Wi-Fi, or mobile data are enabled, disabled by itself as it appears. And there's a suspicious persistent notification in notification bar. Photos, video recordings, audio recordings, and screenshots are being done and stored in your smartphone as it appears by itself, not taken by you. And there are questionable received text messages, which are most likely commands, since not all of the stalkerware would clean these text messages. We're heading to summary, and as you saw, a number of used stalkerware apps has been increasing based on our data. They gather and store more private data about their victims than any other apps you have installed in your smartphone right now. Many of them have security issues that were discovered by us in 158 applications. Problem is that the vendors are not willing to fix them, since 78% of them haven't responded back and not fixed them. We would like to appeal to anyone who might be thinking of using such software to reconsider that. Using stalkerware to spy on your spouses is not just unethical, but it also reveals private and intimate information about them, but also about those who installed it and want to spy on their close ones. Thank you very much for your attention. Enjoy more talks to come.